Good morning, you handsome lot. I wasn't really going to be doing a video on this, but I thought, you know what, I've got a quiet afternoon and I've got nothing for Sunday for you lot to watch while you're having a cup of tea and crumpets. So I have got a little Volkswagen. It's not a Volkswagen. It is an Audi Q3 TFSI 1.4. And we're going to be replacing the timing belt on it, and also a camshaft Dephaser. Now I've already made a start, put my engine support on, took all the trims off and one thing and another, but however, should we get involved? While it's up in the air, we might as well go ahead and get this alternator belt off. Now I do like the VAG stuff, because alternator belt, give it a good pull down, and you can put a little pin, see that hole in, job's a good one. Now they aren't bad to do these timing belts on these. We've got a lot of plastics to take off the intake, got to lock the engine down that side, timing belt this side. If you don't know already, the water pump is this side. So we don't need to drain the water, but we're going to remove the header tank and just pull it out of the way and get this engine mount off. Right, well I've taken all them plastics off the top of that engine, all the air box, and we've got a nice little pile coming together. Now I have gone ahead and removed the upper timing cover, and the reason why we're changing the camshaft Dephaser pulley, we have a little look. We've got a bolt missing out the cover, and it has been catching the aluminium engine mount and also the timing cover. And you'd have sworn when we first had a look at this car, the bottom end was coming out, falling out of the engine, like duck, 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 duck. Like a proper engine knock rather than something catching. Right weird noise it was. Let's get this engine mounted off. Got to just pull the alternator bracket out of the way so we can get it off. Engine mount is off. It is a little bit of a fiddle. You've got to take a little bracket off, an L-shaped bracket that goes onto the back of the cat there. But yeah, there's a little bit of a fiddle. As you can see there now on that engine mount, where the bolt out of that pulley had just been tick, 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 tick. Honestly, the noise that it made, you'd swear the bottom end. Right, let's get this engine timed up. I've gone ahead now and moved the plastic cover off the water pump belt, and also a couple of blanking plates of the side of the engine. There is a little hole in the water pump right by then. We've got to bring that up to 12 o'clock, and before we get that pinned in, we're going to go underneath and get the crank locked up. And if we put that somewhere near, pretty much like that, we can go now underneath and get the crank locking pin in. And for this part, if you are lucky enough to have a ramp to take it right up, get underneath, there's literally just like a sun plug that you take out of there. You can put that bolt in, locking pin, right? Get a ratchet, wang it up. Be careful as you. And always, any timing tool or locking pin, make sure it is tight. If it is not tight, I mean your timing could be out. You got, is it 21? Yeah, 21 mil on the crank pulley. And as we turn that now, that should lock. There you go. Right now, there's one engine locker who need it. Camshaft is now locked up. Now I have had to just modify my tool, cut it a little bit and use a drill bit. Locked up is locked up in my opinion. We've also marked the pulleys there and there. We can go ahead now and get that crank pulley off. One crank pulley removed, 21 mil on the crank bolt. Little green mark. We like reference, don't we? Always mark it up for reference so you know when you're putting it back together, because it fits on them little grooves. If you mark it up, can't be wrong, can it really? Right, well I have made a little bit of progress. I've got the timing belt off, which is relatively good condition. I think because we're changing his pulley and the mileage that it's done, I think it's done about 50,000-ish. I think it'd be false economy not to put a timing belt on it. Now, I've also removed the exhaust camshaft, gear, sprocket, whatever you want to call it, Dephaser. Is it an M? Where's my bar? It was an M12 in the middle, and I have had to hold it with a camshaft tool. Now this is an inner one, and it is free floating pulley. There's no Woodruff key or keyway on it. Now be careful, it's in the middle. There's a little guide tube. Don't damage it. Make sure you do not lose it. Yeah, so we get the new one. Get the new one put on, I think. With a new Dephaser, obviously I've got a brand new bolt. There's like a little bit of fitting kit with it, a new tin cover, and all little bolts, new bolts to hold that cover on. Now I'm going to just give all that area a little bit of a clean down, because the last thing we're going to be doing is tightening against any oil. Think back to my videos when I always say just mark it for reference. When I marked the camshaft pulley before I took it off, see it there? I marked it smack bang in line with that spring there. So when we put that pulley on now, be careful. And that will align back up with our original marks. Then you get the brand new bolt. Get that slid in. We're not going to torque that just yet. We're going to put the timing belt on. You know what? I'm not going to go any further on this car tonight because it is 5:15 and I need to put all my tools away before I go home. But I will be back at 8 o'clock in the morning when there's nobody about and it's nice and quiet. I can have a little bit of peace. No radio on, no banging or grinding or. Yeah, that is my plan of action. So I'll see you in the morning. Right, well, we are back, and I tell you what, it doesn't feel as if we've been away from the place. Let's all get fired up, turn my computers on, and let's get this timing belt put back on. Now, we are using a genuine belt kit for this. It was just as cheap to buy a genuine one than it was an aftermarket one. But yeah, all right, let's get this belt fitted. Right, well, that belt is on. And as always, I do put the right in between the camshaft. Make sure that it's on all the pulleys and guides and God knows what. We get our spanner now. And set the tension on the tensioner. There should be a little arrow that comes up now. And points right by there, like that. And you can see. We can go ahead and get it torqued up to spec. Right, now the camshaft Dephaser. We do need to get. There is a special tool with 4 pins in, but this is going to do the job perfect with 2. Get it just locked in. Now I have set it to 50 degrees, 50 newton meters. Now we need to go 135 newton meters. 135 degrees, should I say? Can't get my bloody words out this morning. Set, it is already set. Come on, level out. Why is it not leveling out? There we go. Now we can go 135 degrees. Oh. Ooh. And there we go. That is 135 degrees. Got a little mark to say that we've done it. And that is job done. We have got a brand new cap for that camshaft Dephaser and also some new bolts. What we're going to do, save them coming out again, just put a tiny little bit of stud and bearing on it. Prevention, because the last thing we want is them bolts coming out again. I've gone ahead, I've put the engine mount back on because it is a little bit of a fiddle. You've got to go up and down with the engine. I put the lower timing cover on. We have a little look. There's 2 grooves in the crankshaft gear. Sprocket lines up with that line. That is perfect. So we can go ahead now and get a pulley. Get that pulley back on. Remember, all the reference marks will be marked up. Absolutely bang on. That is one crank bolt now nice and tight. I'm going to go ahead and get the alternator belt tensioner back on, put the alternator belt on, take it up, top engine mount, carry on putting it back together. Engine mount on, put the coolant tank back where it is. It's out of the way up there. I've removed my timing tools. Remember, I put a little mark there for my own reference. Reference mark, reference mark. Let's take it up and spin it over twice. Now, for those that don't know, or you're learning to do timing belts and one thing or another, whenever you've done your timing belt and you get on the crank and you're turning it over, what you're feeling for is no restrictions at all. Ooh. Right. Oh my God. That's once. And that is twice. Now my mark is bang on. Let's drop it down. Absolutely bang on. And bang on. I'm happy. Right, let's get this engine put back together. And just with a little bit of magic, all that engine is now back together, and we've given all the plastics a little bit of a clean, make it look nice and tidy. Should we get on the key and give it a big start-a-rooney? Well, we've got 2 choices, haven't we, really? If we've done everything correctly, it should start. Oh, shush. Absolutely perfect. Now that light there, that will go off when we take it out, well, probably out the workshop. You've got to go left and right with the steering wheel and it will calibrate itself. It's just the steering angle sensor. And check coolant level. Oh. I tell you what that is. We've all done it. Never mind. Anyway, I've got to go ahead now and get all this under trays and stuff back together. Ta-da! With a little bit of magic, that car is now all back together, finished and ticking over like a little single sewing machine. Now, I said at the beginning of the video, I wasn't going to make a video, but we completely winged it from start to finish. I hope you've all enjoyed it, but apparently these bolts coming loose out of here, they are quite a common complaint. But it is now done. And apparently they're updated bolts for it. I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, if you've liked the video and you've made it this far, please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. And I hope we all have or had a busy week and a happy week. Apart from that Volvo, everything's gone pretty much clean sailing for me this week, I think. I don't know what next week's going to bring, but I'm sure we'll find out at some point. If you liked the video, please hit that like and subscribe. Take it easy. I will definitely see you on the next one. Let's get it soon.